Alrighty folks, this is Lurch from Ireland Gaming and welcome back to From the Depths. We're on the main menu. Why are we on the main menu? Why could we possibly be on the main menu? It's time to start our localized resources campaign. So let's get to the single player. We're going for the quest for Nader. I've already been fiddling with these recently. Difficulty modifier I'm going to leave alone because that is an increase to enemy damage and a decrease to your damage. I don't really like the mechanics, so I'm just going to leave that as it is. Growth factor, because I'm not too experienced with this campaign yet, we're going to leave this at 1. The resources given by destroying the enemy, we're just going to leave that as it is because resources are pretty scarce and you have to go and collect them anyway now. You have to go over to the wrecked ship and actually take the resources off them. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And enemy difficulty I have bumped up to 2. So this will start us off with slightly more difficult enemies. And begin! And here we are with the beautiful new test fortress. Test fortress? Starting fortress. And the first thing I'm going to do is do my very best to scrap the whole bloody lot. This is typically what I'll do in any campaign, is the lovely starter fortress is never long for this world and will get scrapped nearly straight away. Ruger has actually built a really cool starting fortress and he's put it together as a suggestion for replacing this guy and using it in the main campaign in-game, and I am going to be building one of those, for shits and giggles. This guy is this is actually a really nice little starter boat. It is so very, very cheap, 12,000. It's got a reasonably good missile rack, handles quite well. It's a little bit on the wobbly side, but extremely cheap, and I'm going to scrap it too. I'm sorry, Mr. Starting Rib, you're going to have to go. I want your resources. We're pretty safe at the start of the campaign here, so we should have a little bit of time. Don't want that, I want a vehicle spawner. This doesn't have a vehicle spawner. BU. Respawn vehicles. No, that's a scrapper. And that's a docking ray. Why no vehicle spawner, damn it? Anyway, it's just... First thing you want to do, you don't want to just hit the scrap button on your fortress straight away. That is a really, really bad idea, because what happens to all of the resources in the boxes? It disappears. As far as I'm aware, I haven't tried it actually, but whoops, not load game. I want to load constructible. I have built a couple of little bits and pieces, Season 2, and we actually have some starting ships this time, and I'm going to run through those and get them building. They are extremely basic, very, very weak, but they're going to be what I'm using to start ourselves off here and get ourselves moving with some very basic ships. Now this is a simple starting, like a storage box with a couple of repair tentacles on it that I've built. Where is the... You can hold on to it. Eek, select on. And we'll pull the whole distance back a little bit. All this is... Let me move. There we go. It's just a couple of boxes on a piece of wood. Simple as that, and a couple of repair tentacles. The reason I have this here is we'll get the localized resources on and set this to number 1. We'll set this to number 1 as well, and you can hold on to everything. All of the things. I just realized I didn't actually put any fuel on this. And there is a lot of fuel on this starting... I mean, look at all this. I think this is maybe a little bit overkill. We don't need all that fuel. Well, we kind of do. Let's nab the fuel as well. Screw it. Might as well take it. Oh, I'm out of resources. Lol. Yeah, this is a slow start, I'm afraid. It's always going to be a slow start at the beginning of the campaign. We have very little resource gatherers and all as well. We have very little oil. God, we definitely want to keep this fuel then. But while that is transferring some of the fuel over, I'm going to start getting just a little bit of resources back. You can be sort of sneaky and start stealing blocks, and this will give us, well, for wood it'll give us natural. What do I actually need? I need a couple of things. Back. Gone. And roof. There's the roof. So we got a bunch of natural resources for that. We really need a little bit of oil, but that seems to be okay. We're not terribly short on anything. We'll get all this stuff back when we scrap the hell out of it. So This thing should have enough storage to hold everything that that big fella can provide. But we can probably start thinking about spawning in the new fortress. Yeah, let's get the fortress in. We'll get it nearby here somewhere in the resource zone. It's pretty big. It's smaller than this one, but it's pretty big. No, don't load game. I always click that one. Ruger's starting fortress. 142,000. This is actually about 40,000 RP cheaper than the other one. So whenever you spawn it in, you're actually going to have a little bit of excess left over as well, which is great. So that should slowly start building. This is finished. So, yep, there we go. Starting to build. Now, because we know that this is more expensive than the other one, I can just start scrapping this now, and all of the resources should go into here. And we can put the resources from here into this. So, moment of truth. Well, hold on. I want to put more these on, don't I? Blast and confound. Oh, time for one. What do we need for this? What is the actual resource cost? Oh, geez, 9,000 oil? It just costs oil? Why does it cost oil? It's a fuel storage box. That is oil, right? Yeah, that's peculiar in my book. Oh, hold on. If I delete the ones that are in here, I'll get the oil, won't I? Yeah, can you tell I haven't done much of this? Sorry, this is a bit of a derpy episode, but, you know, needs must. Here. Looks like you're building on the right blueprint, doesn't it? I can't see anything. Right. Oh, we have loads of oil now. Sweet. Oh, so just scrapping them gets us a bunch of oil back. Oh, well, no, that still loses the fuel, though. We want to keep the fuel, don't we? There, we've lots of fuel now. It's full to the gills as well. Don't actually need all that fuel just yet. The couple of starting ships that I've made are actually quite efficient, so they use very, very little power. They only have like one block of fuel storage, so they run for like a good half hour without needing fuel, which is pretty good. It's not, you know, absolutely stellar, but it's not bad. And I think, seeing as we've got rid of nearly everything on this guy, we can see from our little bars. What are these? Is ammo. That is fuel. Can't remember what the other ones are. But yeah, we don't need anything that's on here now. And if we scrap this, we should have enough to finish this guy off. So, starting fortress. Goodbye, my friend. Get all of these lovely resources back. Splash. Resources. Oh yeah, there's the... You see, whenever things are destroyed now, they go on like a little scrap pile on the map. You can actually see it here as a little X, and you can go over and actually take the scrap off it. In this case, this guy has now just nabbed everything that was on it, and can continue to build away at this. I'm just going to sort of sit here for a little minute and watch this build up quickly, and I'll time-lapse it for you so it goes a little bit faster. Hooray, it's done. Nice one. So this is Ruger's sort of take on a starting fortress. Let's make sure that it's in the resource area. You stand still, would you? Don't attack salvage. Go away. On. No, just on. Just stay the hell where you are. Right, that means that we don't need this anymore. So, first thing we can do is take. Well, I want you to be in resource 1, and you want to store all the things, and you want to store none of the things. Let's get rid of all of this stuff. I could probably just scrap this, but it doesn't really matter. This is already full of fuel, seriously, so no need taking all that fuel in the first place, it seems. We're low on oil, but we'll get that back pretty soon, apparently. We should have loads of oil. Oh, it's because these are still on their way down. The drills need to make all the way to the bottom. Oh no, they are. Ah, whatever. We'll get oil, it's fine. We are getting oil. It's going up. I like it when it goes up. Anyway, so that is Ruger's starting fortress. Let's have a quick wander around. It's very pretty. Get the UI off. We have quite a nice big cannon here. We have these, and let's just quickly spawn this in so all the spin blocks start working. Oh, we're in the bridge. Hello, the bridge. We have a nice little control room. This is a weapons controller. Our AI. Ooh, lights. Thank you. Let's hop outside and go down the lovely little walkway. And there's another walkway down here. We'll come back up and have a look at everything else. I'm stuck. Stop it. And this is our resource storage area. There's a whole bunch of natural storage. We have more natural storage. A couple of scrap storage. There's crystals. Miscellaneous. There's metal, and there's a couple of engines that will keep everything running nicely. There's our oil storage, a few repair bots there, and that's our drills. Blue light, it's pretty. Ooh, nighttime, suitable. He's got everything nicely labelled as well, so if you're sort of not familiar with the game, it's nice, nice little sort of helping hand to get along with it. Now there is the AI for the turret that's up there. That's the cannon. This just looks badass! Not class? A simple spin block with a couple of resource gatherers on the bottom, but it just looks so pretty. This is our little docking area. It's got one of these vehicle spawners. These are, I think, the handiest one because you can just spawn a blueprint in and tell it to hold it until it's completely built. I love these things. So let's actually, while we're here and this thing's built, let's spawn in the first of our starting ships. This little guy is called the Particle, and this is the very first time I've built something cheap that I intended to build cheap, if you know what I mean. Whenever I set out to build things cheap, I tend to spend way too much resources, and this one's actually cheap. It's only like 8,189. 87, and this is called the Particle. It's a teensy little fella. There's a chair. I think it's got a PID controller. Did I leave the PID in? I did. It's got the hydrofoil altitude. I will be covering PIDs at some point in the future. I haven't got my head around them well enough to do a tutorial on them. They're a pretty complicated block, and the way I work with them at the minute is, I guess, mostly a rough idea how they work. But yeah, this is the Particle. It's got this is only a one-axis turret, but they've all got ejectors. These are very simple little missiles. We have the torpedo is the one in the middle. It's got 2 frag warheads. It ejects at a lower angle so that it gets a little bit more oomph out of its shell. And these are short-range thrusters with an IR seeker, and they have a little bit of a start delay so that whenever they do get ejected, they're fairly high out of the water before they go off. So this little fella is actually really effective for his price, and will take out some, well, there are no evenly cost deepwater guard ships because it's so cheap. I don't believe so anyway. He's only like 40 blocks, no, 70 something blocks, would I remember right? 74 blocks. Pretty happy with that. So yeah, he's really cool, and this is going to be one of my little starter ships. I am obviously going to be making much bigger ones, but let's get him on the go. How many resources do we have? You see, we have quite a bit of excess, thankfully, because of how much cheaper this resource or the starting platform is. So let's get rid of you. We'll spawn you out of play, and I think we can afford another Particle. Let's get another Particle on the go. Full to 100 and load. Build so fast. Get this other guy out of the way. And I'll give you a move order. Oh, you can only use them when I'm ready to play. Okay. And you're nearly built already. Sweet. Should actually probably set these guys up for RO. Oh, they are. They're set to keep very little metal. They have 1 metal storage. I think they're configured to keep like 200 metal or something like that. Okay, that's not very much. It'll be 2,000 whenever they have enough for it. But it should be enough to keep their missiles on the go. And we'll try and not keep too many resources on these, because if they go up, they will go up like a firework. There's nothing to these guys. They've got this shield on the top, which helps a little, but because of their wobbly... Well, any sort of wobble in the waves means that shells can get in to the side. It would be much better if I had 2 shields here and angled them, so that it would have much better coverage, but instead I just opted for 1 really big weak shield. So yeah, that's more or less everything there is to the particle. It is tiny, it's Tetris to the max, it's got 2 little engines on the back, and it does the trick. But let's get rid of him, and we will get in the next. And I'll probably stop here after I build this guy. Now this is the Rhino. He's about 30,000 RP, and he is a missile boat with a tiny little custom cannon on the front, advanced custom cannon, and it fires these solid body composites. But they have really big missiles, like huge ass missiles. These are like 9 blocks or something. 2, 4, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7. But even still, the ship is really, really small. So yeah, it's got flat launch, so it launches in a trajectory upwards. Even though they're flat, they have a 1 turn to turn towards the target, and then there's a timed release on them, I think. Is there? No, yep, short range thruster. They have a timed setup, 2-second start delay, the same as the other ones, and they will hop up into the air to about here, and then take off and kill stuff. I like it. I think they're frags, they're triple frags. And I believe they have a camera as well. Yep, IR camera, triple frag. Pretty nasty. They're very powerful missiles. This guy's programmed to stay pretty far away. He has very little firepower, and with the missile nerf being there, the reload time on these missiles is pretty obscene. But I think he's configured to stay like 800 meters away or so, and just pepper things with this little gun. It's actually not a bad little gun, I gotta say. It's only a 60 millimeter twin barrel, and it's got 3 inputs. So it's extremely cheap, but it does have a gauge increase. I did that to keep the recoil down, and just so that it's not firing too many shells. I also did have a PID on this guy, but I think I removed it. Did I? I did not. Hello. Yeah, so this guy is configured for naval roll, and it's actually got recoil compensation. Let's see if I can find the PID here, so I'll show you the settings. Again, not going to cover them too much because I literally fiddled with it until I got the right settings that I wanted. Where are you? You're down here connected. Oh, there you are. PID controller. Naval roll mode. So whenever this thing, it's got like a 2-second look ahead, whenever it detects recoil, it'll try and compensate. There's 2 downward facing roll set thrusters on the bottom, or propellers here. You can see them. And the PID knows that whenever you're going off center, it can use them to compensate and flatten out my roll, which is awesome. So sweet. That is the Rhino. You can tell by the little rhino-y bits. I think it looked a bit like a rhino head, one of the cartoon ones. I think it was from, this is really going back, one of the cartoons, I think it was called Babar, was the little elephant dude in the suit, and the rhinos, their heads all looked kind of like this with little beady eyes, and it looked pretty cool. But that's the first thing that sort of reminded me of. Now, I have another ship to show you, and I think we'll do that next episode because we're running pretty long here. Yeah, the new localized resources, there's a lot of sort of fiddly little bits here, but man, it's so cool. It's really nice to have to do the whole logistical thing. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and it's going to be really fun whenever we start getting fights. Now, I know for a fact I'm going to need to build a radar copter or something to get you know, some sort of decent visibility about. See if there's any enemies on the horizon yet. You can sometimes see the red boxes even as soon as they enter the fog of war, even if they're not within your full visibility. And there is nothing coming yet, so hooray! So the first thing I want to do is save it. Save the game as new save. How do I save? There it is. Let's play Season 2, Episode 1. Save. So, I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Any likes, subs, or comments are really, really awesome. I love hearing from you guys, and I read every single comment. We will be back very soon with the next episode of the Localized Resources Let's Play, and get the rest of the ships on the go, and then let's see if we can get into some fights. As always, take it handy, and have a bloody good day.